I'm Maria Reina, and welcome to the Veterans Memorial Webcast. Today, we have Alma Lopez with our local news story, Ava Lawrence with our national news story, and Sarah Blanco with our sports story of the week. Let's get started with Alma Lopez and our local news story.
Thank you, Maria. Gary Long writes Positive Attitude. Porter student published his book about struggles, strength. Porter Early College High School student Giovanna Montserrat Rangel prepares for the release of her book, My Struggles Made Me Stronger, on Wednesday, September 15, 2019, at the Brownsville Public Library main branch. Porter Early College High School principal Mary Solis surprised students at the first pep rally of the year when she introduced Giovanna Montserrat Rangel as an example of how to have a positive attitude. I called her, and she walked all the way across the gym to the middle, and everybody got real quiet, Solis said last week. I talked about her struggles, how despite her impairment and what she has to deal with and how difficult it is for her to walk sometimes, she took something very negative and turned it around. And she killed it with this book, and how her struggle makes her a stronger person. Giovanna was born with cerebral palsy, which affects her motor skills, but not her cognitive ability. She spent the summer writing My Struggles Made Me Stronger. It is available on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble online. She will have a book signing on September 25th at the Brownsville Public Library main branch on Central Boulevard. I'm very proud of her. I told them she could be upset and mad, but instead, she turned it around, and she's going to help other kids, Solis said. Everybody knows her because of her personality and her outlook on life. She's just so positive. I wrote it over the summer, Joanna said. It talks about my struggles, situations that I have been in, and it talks about how I have overcome them with the help of my family and friends. One example is the trouble she used to have about getting to class on time. The solution was leaving one class 5 minutes earlier to get to the next class, so there wouldn't be as much traffic in the hallways. Another was doing all of her classwork and homework on a laptop computer. She said her cerebral palsy limits her ability to write in the traditional sense, but that she does much better on the computer. She said she wrote the book for two reasons, to motivate others and for people to learn from my perspective, so they can see things from my point of view. The book is available in Spanish and English. She got connected with the publisher, EM Editorial, here in Brownsville, and they said they did the translation. They worked together by getting her original manuscript ready to go print and passing revisions and corrections back and forth on a USB drive. She received the first hard copy of the book last week of summer vacation. It was printed in Los Angeles. Now she's waiting for the first shipment of books to arrive. After high school, Giovanna plans to go to college. Right now, her first option is Texas A&M University in College Station. Right now, it's between the medical field or becoming an occupational therapist, she said. One of the main topics is how she and her twin sister, Juliana, who does not have the disability, were compared growing up. She can do some things that I can't do, and I can do things that she can't do. I express myself better in writing, she said. This concludes our Webcast local report. Now back to Maria.
Thank you, Alma. Now let's go to Ava with national news.
Thank you, Maria. David Montanaro states that Tucker Carlson hailed the firing Tuesday of White House National Security Advisor John Bolton, calling him a man of the left whose exit should be celebrated by young service members. It is great news for America, especially for the large number of young people who would have been killed in pointless wars if Bolton had stayed on the job. They may not be celebrating tonight, but they should be, said Carlson, noting that oil prices dropped on the news of Bolton's firing, since global investors knew for certain that Bolton planned on launching another Middle Eastern conflict that would inevitably spike energy prices. In his opening monologue on Tucker Carlson tonight, Carlson looked back on his March 2018 interview with Bolton, recalling that Bolton displayed selective amnesia about the consequences of regime change in the Middle East. He also noticed that several Democrats were quick to criticize Trump over Bolton's ouster. If you are wondering why so many progressives are mourning Bolton's firing tonight, it's because Bolton himself fundamentally was a man of the left. There was not a human problem John Bolton wasn't totally convinced could be solved with the brute force of government. That's an assumption of the left, not the right. Don't let the mustache fool you, said Carlson, accusing Bolton of promoting Obama loyalists within the National Security Council. Carlson said he had long warned about Bolton and that he'd been itching to start another war in the Middle East. He said Bolton was invited on the show Tuesday to respond, and the offer still stands. In some ways, the story isn't simply about John Bolton. It's about the countless John Boltons who currently staff the federal bureaucracy. Deeply mediocre lifers, drunk on hubris, protected by bulletproof job security, they're more likely to die on the job than be fired, and they know it. As a group, these people have done a lot to make this country poorer and sadder and more divided, he added. Carlson said, though Bolton is now gone, the question remains on whether another John Bolton will take his place advising the president. Trump announced Tuesday that he had fired Bolton, saying he disagreed strongly with his suggestions on a range of issues. Bolton fired back immediately, tweeting moments after the president's announcement that he offered his resignation on Monday evening, saying it was not immediately accepted by Trump. I offered to resign last night, and President Trump said, "Let's talk about it tomorrow," Bolton tweeted. Now back to you, Maria.
Thank you, Ava. Now let's go to Sarah with sports.
Thank you, Maria. Jake Trotter states that Cleveland Browns star Odell Beckham Jr. said that he still plans to wear in games the luxury watch that he sported in the season opener against the Tennessee Titans. "I'll still be wearing it," Beckham said Tuesday. "The same way I wear it every day. I go to practice. When I go here, I go there. Been wearing it. Take a shower with it on. It's just on me." NFL spokesman Michael Signora said earlier in the week that while the league has no rules prohibiting jewelry, it does have a policy prohibiting hard objects. He also said the league would address the matter with Beckham and the Browns, who play at the New York Jets next Monday night. Beckham countered that the Richard Mille timepiece watch retails for around $190,000, is plastic and thus shouldn't be an issue, although Beckham indicated he hadn't spoken to the league about it yet. "You got to look into the rule book. It says you can't wear any hard objects. The watch is plastic," he said. "People have knee braces on that are hard and made out of metal. You don't see them taking them off. Everyone has jewelry on, so I'm good." Beckham confirmed that his tweet Monday night was a reaction to the watch. He added Tuesday that he felt the NFL was singling him out. "If anybody else would have worn the watch, if it was a $20 watch, it wouldn't have been a problem," he said. "That's just my life. If it ain't this, it's something else. If it wasn't the watch, it would have been the way I tied my shoes." A spokesperson for the watch company said that 500 pieces were made and that Beckham is just a customer and not a brand ambassador. This concludes our Webcast Sports Report. Now back to Maria.
Thank you, Sarah. This concludes our Veterans Memorial Webcast for the week. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.